Alright guys, what is going on? It's Ed from KB Autosports. So I just wanted to make a quick video, or I don't even know how if this will be a quick video or not, but I want to make a video while we have a bunch of vehicles in the shop. That one just got tires, that one's getting stuff done to it. We're not going to talk about this one at the moment. I'll be working on this one here in a couple weeks. But today we have I believe it's a 12, 13, somewhere in there, Silverado that we're doing an inspection on. When we aren't doing lift kits or really anything else, we fill our schedule with inspections and just general maintenance work because, again, as being an auto mechanic shop, we also try to be honest auto mechanics. We've noticed in our area there's a lot of non-honest auto mechanics. Anyways, we're having this one come in for a vehicle inspection, so I wanted to go through and kind of show you guys what we look for, how we diagnose things, so on and so forth. So I believe that this truck was recently bought by the owners who brought it to us. We know them pretty well, but anyways, they brought it in. We are inspecting it. We already knew it needed brakes. Obviously, you can definitely see it needs brakes. There is a pretty good gouge right there. I don't know how well that's going to show up on camera. But the brakes are making all sorts of crappy noises, and they are hitting, like weigh bar is hitting on that side. But I wanted to go through here and kind of show you guys what we determine good or bad on these type of vehicles. So I'm gonna throw my headlamp on here real quick, and we're gonna kind of walk through this. So right here, as you can see, the boot around this has blown out. That's why you can see a bunch of grease and everything there. This one also has a lot of grease. I don't think it's blown out, but it does have wiggle. So I will show you guys here in a couple seconds how I determine if any of these joints are blown out, upper ball joints, lower ball joints, tie rods. Then as you come down here, you can also see, let me get that, there's a lot of leakage right here. Well, there's a seal right inside of here, just like there is on this side, and that seal's junk too because it's leaking. Now, you could get really nitpicky and looking all here. There is a little bit of leakage right here, but I'm pretty sure that's just from previous of that, so I'll spray it down and just confirm. One thing we also like to look at is just see if these are torn or anything. These are not torn. Like I said, more grease fittings up here that are greasy, but that type of grease is not a big deal. This you can obviously tell is exploded out, and that is bad. So our easiest thing here is to just replace the entire control arm. Yes, you can just replace the ball joint, but honestly, it kind of becomes the same hassle. So on the other side, we have somewhat of a good one, just really dusty from brake dust and everything else, dirt and road grime. Again, this one is blown. I will show you that in a second. Upper control arms are not. Here's where people start to kind of, I'm going to say, scam others. Is I think this truck has like 200 some thousand miles on it. It's up here in the Rust Belt of Wisconsin, and everyone's going to automatically say, oh, well, you need, hold on, this is upside down. You need to have your shocks and struts replaced. You don't need to. At 200 and some thousand miles, depending on how it's riding, you can. You never know who in the past did replace them. They could already be replaced, so it really depends on how it's riding. If it's obviously floating along, it probably needs to be replaced because they're so blown out that they're just coasting along. But again, unless you actually see like leakage or anything, really they're probably not that bad. Now, if you come over here, I really can't tell you whether these are actually shot or not. I still have to look up and see if they're good. They do seem like they're good because they have quite a bit of brake left on them, I believe. But again, I don't know enough about the Jerome brakes to tell you. I just don't mess with them very often. We don't see very many of them in our shop. But as you can see in there, it's a little dusty and dirty, but nothing major. Now we come across, and I'm going to work my way back up to the transfer case. Sometimes you'll see, like right here, this might be leaking or anything. This one's actually pretty dry. And then you come back down, you check this one, pretty dry, no leaking. So that's good. Every once in a while, you might get this that leaks. You just check that, it all looks good. Now you come to this side, and you'll notice that there is obviously visual, I'm gonna say fluid, but not really fluid, it just looks wet. Well, that's because that inner axle seal is blown, torn, teared, whatever you want to call it. So those are the things we look for on the bottom. Now again, I'm going to get to how we test the ball joint here in a second. I'm going to show you the tie rod just because you can see with the tie rod that it is clearly blown. So let me turn this camera around And again, I don't have a camera person, so just bear with me. Oh. But I will show you guys this. So here we have this. All right, let me open this up a little bit so I can actually get some leverage on it. I'm gonna set you guys down for a second. Ooh. Normally I'm not this bad at this, but let me just make sure I can get some leverage on it before I try to show you guys. All right, cool. I can get some leverage on it. All right, so let's go back to this. This bottom one doesn't move as much, but the other one's already blown boot-wise, so you might as well just replace both of them at the same time, considering I am getting a little bit of wiggle room out of both of them. And with a almost probably 5,000 pound truck, obviously anything that I'm doing is going to be amplified. So if it has a little bit of movement, it's either going to come back with more movement in just a couple weeks and they're going to be complaining, or just take care of it all at the same time. Now again, I don't know if all this can be taken care of. All I know is we're authorized to do the brakes on this. We were told to check it over. I still have to check up top on all of the belts, pulleys, stuff like that. I have a whole list, but it's in the truck. But I just wanted to run through a quick little video of how we go through all these. Because again, there are a lot of shops out there that will be like, oh, well, your struts are blown because you have 200 and some thousand miles. Your shocks are blown. This is blown. That's blown. You really only go for the things that actually look blown or look like they're having an issue. You don't just go for everything. So I'm going to go ahead and put this truck on the ground, or at least lower it quite a bit. I'm going to check under the hood, see what we got under the hood. And then I'm going to send these guys a quote for at least the brakes. And then I'll list off the other stuff that is recommended. And we'll have a discussion about that and just see how much they want to do right now. So stay tuned for the rest of the video. I figured I'd make an update video for you guys. We went through, gave the quote to the customer. And like I said, when you give an honest quote, and then when the customer shows up, in this case, he showed up and he just wanted to kind of check everything out and make sure, because he did have quotes from other places. So we ended up deciding on doing lower control arms, outer tie rods, and then we did front brakes because the front brakes were absolutely trashed. I'm actually going to show you the other one in a second here. So that is one of the pads from the front brakes, obviously this driver's side. So we're going to swap, like I said, both control arms, outer tie rods, and the brakes are being done. So that's what we're working on right now. He showed up to help me out, and we're going to knock this stuff out. So the way we did this, I'm going to show you just in case you have a Chevy, is we took everything apart and then we loosened up the nut, took the nut off completely and just kind of pulled it out. Gave us just enough clearance to pull and bend it in an interesting fashion, and it came out. So I'm gonna throw you guys up on the tripod and we're gonna take care of this real quick. Just pushed it back in. You gotta pull it out just lower. Oh my god, this is just ridiculous right in a second. Now we're kind of stuck. Pull me out. Alright. Are you kidding me? It's barely in there at the time, right? Okay. Ooh. I figured while I was waiting on you, I would do this, but then you got done quicker than I. You know, you do crack moves right through, so the tire moves back in the same spot. I might lose a little bit. Alright. You ready? No, but that's okay. Try not to pull that off. Push back in. Hold on. Here, figure out the holes. Hey, why don't we adjust the other side? Hold on. No, stop. And, all right, give me a second. Oh, too far. Oh. Oh. Hold on. Because you're going to need to tap. You need to go get the brass drift. I don't know. Tap this out. Make sure the center line is as good as you can get. Not your hand. Alright. Now you pull on this pretty hard. Because it's out like a lot. Alright. Hold on. Whoa. Alright, will you hold up that side? Slide. Put this bolt in. Oh, yeah. I'm really close enough. Hold on. It's like you planned it that way.